One of the things I've learned in this work of dating and relationship transformation is that it's often not just about finding a different person. It's about becoming a different version of yourself, one who is able to recognize healthy love and choose differently and create a relationship that's aligned with your values. Today, I'm sharing a conversation I had with a woman who attended one of my workshops during a very difficult season of her life. At the time, she was rebuilding herself after very painful relationship experiences and rediscovering herself. A year later, she found herself in a completely different place, and I wanted you to hear her story. Take us back to the time before October 2024, where you were from a relationship standpoint. Just share a little bit about that.
October 2024. Well, I had been officially divorced August 2024, and it was a very tumultuous situation that I knew I should not have been in, and I was there too long because that's a part of my loyalty as a Leo, as a Sun and Moon Leo. I'm very, very, very loyal to a fault. Well, I wasn't being loyal to myself, and so I was intentional about finding out what's going on with me. Like I know how I present and how the type of person that I am, but I gotta fix it. I gotta fix it somewhere, and I need to do what I need to do to fix it. Now it wasn't all the way up from there, but I did learn about my attachment style. I took an attachment style quiz, and I saw how true it was. But not only that, I started to study my natal chart and the things that I knew were real about me, that I believed about me, because I was gaslit for so many years that I started to actually believe what others thought, or the narrative that was being formed, versus who I said that I was, and who I'm called to be, and who I said that I wanted to be. So again, there was still some holes. There was still some childhood trauma that needed to heal, and I knew that I had become self-aware of the daddy issues and the mother wounds. I knew that that was on me. I can, fight to get those answers, or I could just go on and, handle my business. And that's what I did. I'm pretty hard headed. And a lot of the things that I needed to learn, I had to learn it the hard way. I had to experience it. So that's what I did. I went and chose somebody that reminded me of the father that I never knew. The one who raised me was a great man, but the father who gave me life that I never knew, I have a lot of his tendencies. And I looked for that. Why? I don't know. It is a part of me. I'm grateful, but it's okay. I can stay from over there. So I chose a completely incorrect person for me. And I was telling myself, because I have gotten so used to gaslighting myself, that this is what you need because this is what you're learning. It was a sort of cognitive dissonance that I had, and it was very traumatic on so many levels. So many levels. I could talk about it now because I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything in my life. I'm not a victim to anything except for what you are a victim to. I'm not a victim of my choices. So I was in that relationship for way too long when I was recognizing this. You don't even recognize yourself anymore.
When did you realize too long was too long?
I don't know if I can tell you. I don't know if I can put a nominal on that. But I knew that I had been alienated and alienated myself. That's not easy for everybody. When I went to your master class, I never lost those notes. I never lost track of that part of me. It was almost as if the person that I had been whispering to in the mirror for years, she was now strong enough to, hey, I got this right now. I'm still working in the background. You go ahead up and seal whatever it is that you think you're trying to find. We got this. We're going to be okay. And you really can't talk to everybody like that because it sounds like it's multiple people going on in your head, and really it's just you. It's
Mhm.
all the aspects of you, the tethered side, the little girl that needs to heal side, the woman waiting on you to arrive side, and it's always been in you. It was always in me. It was just I was feeding the wrong thing. And all of it's me. All of it. The balance of it, it is all me. But which one, who did I want to be? It was a physical abusive situation. And at the point in which I looked at myself and I said to self, you got me fucked up. I couldn't, I said, you don't even recognize yourself. I had lost so much weight. And on one hand, folks be like, yes, I'm back to my fighting age. I was not okay. And I was like, okay, you're going to have to play a game to get out of this situation. And you know how to do that. You've learned to be manipulative. You have manipulation in you. So now you need it to work for yourself. I stayed quiet and looked for the out. And one day, with my backpack, I left. And it was almost like I jumped the universe because I didn't skip a beat from that part of me who knew who I was already. Where I left off with you is where I picked up. I went into straight making plans for myself like I would as a teacher for kids, for the students that I had, or the girls that I coached. Like, you are the most important person right now. Didn't have a dime in my bank account. But you are the most important person right now. What are we going to do? And no more excuses. I kind of built a support system between my mom and my sister. And I said, I don't trust myself right now with anybody. So I give it all to you until I can get to their point. They agreed. I held them accountable in areas where they were weak and I was strong. Along the lines, though, I had this plan. I had this 6 month plan, honey. I was doing circles, a counseling group, and it was empowerment. And I did it every morning. Started working out like fervently, working out. And that would get out the anger because I was running and cussing at the same time.
Oh, I know about it.
The whole you got me fucked up became that's what I like. All of you thought that I was too dumb or you took advantage of my naivety. Watch this. That was what there was. And then a friend, a longtime friend, we acquainted ourselves in conversation. And it's funny because this friend contacted me 6 months prior when I was in a horrible situation. I was just a horrible person. I was incredibly mean. And so I started thinking about those who really made an impact in my life because I had an opportunity now to invite people back into where I was going. Everybody, I already knew everybody wasn't going to make it. So I contacted this friend to apologize. I didn't know if somebody was flirting with me or not. And I was reading it off to my sister, my support system. I said, he's just so weird. He was saying that, well, an undescript place at a coffee shop is, his vocabulary is vast. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's just so strange. And she said, no, that's not strange at all. I said, it's not. So I was intrigued, but I wasn't, you know, good for anybody. I had a goal and we connected. And our first conversation was the attachment styles quiz.
Wow.
We talked. I was very transparent with where I was in life, what I wanted. This is where I am, and this is why. He wanted to know about the quiz. So I read off the quiz. And it's been on since there. It was a friend that blossomed into love quickly. And the basis of it is transparency,
Mhm.
honesty, and just being authenticity. I could not be more grateful for my husband. I didn't think now I was trying to hide him from my family. I was trying to hide him because I didn't. My last two.
Mhm.
Listen, My family was like, now listen, I was trying to hide him, but he made his appearance, and everybody, like the people that mattered,
Mhm.
um, just embraced him. He's so himself and he's authentic, and he allows me to be myself. He wouldn't. He told me I won't have it any other way. I don't want you like this. I want you your whole self, and so that's how our relationship began. But then I noticed, I'm like, what am I doing? This is not a friend. This is everything. Checked all the boxes. I'm thinking, listen, we connect at a core value level. Everything was about show what the intentions were with me. It wasn't talk. It wasn't that he was trying to impress me because I could not, I can't be impressed with anything that isn't authentic. Yes.
Talked a lot about identity. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's so important for us as women to understand how the relationship with self has to be intact before we go out and expect a healthy foundation in a
Absolutely.
romantic relationship. Because when you talked about the authenticity, and I'm assuming that that was something that was lacking in the situations prior.
Yes.
Okay, when you said you were able to see and accept all facets of yourself, the
All of it.
light and the dark, the positive, happy go loving energy, as well as the manipulative side.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't want to take ownership of that. And the beautiful thing about it, especially for women who are in those situations where they got to make that exit plan, because I've been there too, you got to know how to tap into that dark shadow side because it's not all evil and bad.
Nope.
Sometimes it's going to serve you,
Yep.
and to be able to recognize I have the skill set and this is how it's going to help me and aid me in getting to where I need to go. I love the balancing act
Yes.
that you spoke to because it's absolutely necessary, especially when you're making the quantum leap from one identity and reality to a completely different, basically, universe of
Yep.
living, of relating to people. I
Yes.
love the other thing that you just recently mentioned as far as what women should be looking for, core values.
Yep.
That is number one. And I think probably most people aren't talking about that or thinking about that because we've been so programmed and conditioned to skim the surface. We don't even know what a core value is when it comes to a relationship
And
partner.
see, about that, I've been in education for 23 years. I was a coach and I ran a program, and this is what this program was going to look like. Well, guess what? I just applied that concept to this. These are my boundaries.
Mhm.
These are my expectations. And
Mhm.
it's not controlling anybody else. It's basically governing who you are. So, who do I want in my life? That goes for anybody. My core values go for anybody. They don't change because of who you are. And I had to grieve in order to figure that out. I grieved family relationships, deep family relationships, grieved them because they are no longer allowed in my life now. You've already shown me who you could be. You know, vice versa. It was what works for me because I'm so in tune to knowing myself. Like that's very powerful. You can talk, you can learn about other people. You can, but once you figure out you can't fix nobody but yourself,
Boom.
you can't fix that
So
for
many
anybody
people are
else.
in relationships just other focus, trying to fix the other person. He the
Like,
one with the problem. We
right?
we never take the onus to deal with us first because that is when we truly step into our power.
Yeah,
And we can't change anybody
you
else.
can't. You have to accept, be willing to understand what you can accept.
Mhm.
So I knew I had made a decision that when I left, I wasn't coming back. And it didn't mean geographically, not
Okay.
only geographically. I wasn't going back to whoever died because she died. That was the end of an era where everybody knew. Now, there are some people who can identify my personality because I've always been me. But this part of my life is reserved for those that I choose and that choose me.
And the other thing you said was action. A lot of people who find themselves in the repetitive cycles of negative relationships, we're
Mhm.
only focused on, well, he said, and just going off of lip service, but action speaking louder than words. What is your spirit like? What are the things that you are doing and showing me on a consistent basis? Keyword
Consistent.
consistent.
That's what I was about to say. What is consistent?
Mhm.
And those are core values for me. What's consistent? Not do you consistently open the door for me? That's bullshit. For me it is. Thank you for when you remember, but I mean that doesn't mean that you don't care about me because I know what you consistently do. That I don't have to ask for. That that lines up with, like I said, authenticity, transparency, honest, consistency, intimacy. I know what intimacy is now, and it is a beautiful thing. You can be intimate without touching the soul part of it. There have been moments from this journey, and I don't want anybody to think that jumping into another relationship is the end all be all and will heal you. That's not what I'm saying. I know that I move fast. That's a part of me. I know that I don't need a whole lot of suggestions. It's like I know myself, but I didn't know myself on the level in which I needed to know myself in order to be in, establish, and maintain a healthy relationship. Until now.
Going back to what you said earlier, as far as digging into your natal chart, I was able to do a lot of healing
Yeah.
by way of unpacking my natal chart because it just made so much
Made
sense.
so much sense.
Would you say that that was a part of the journey as far as understanding yourself, and not just yourself, but understanding the compatibility aspect of a partner in your life on a long?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not just partners, but friendships. The natal chart was highly conducive to my healing. I did seek therapy. Reiki was an important part of
Yes.
this journey. Worship,
Mhm.
worship and dance was a major part of this journey, and just being honest and open and having conversations that I was otherwise afraid to have, but being free enough with my partner, my best friend, my lover, to have those conversations.
For someone who feels like they are stuck in a cycle, they keep repeating the same relationship patterns or
Mhm.
attracting situations that they don't want, what would you want them to know?
It's not over. If you're stuck, you can either choose to be stuck or you can keep going further, but something has to give. What I would like for people to understand is that sometimes your purpose comes through your pain or you being stuck. I chose to embody what I've went through, and I'm starting a certification class for being a spiritual coach and an intuitive healer because I see it in what you've done. That was a seed plant. I see it in education. People are unbalanced. They become stuck. Everybody needs a transformation at some point in their life. And I would love to be the midwife to someone's transformation because it's real. People get stuck and don't know where else to go, and they might need a coach to guide them through just to the next level because everything is not a one stop shop. If it takes a village to raise a child and we're still trying to raise ourselves, most of us, then the village has to be larger than the four walls of the church.
Right.
That's another conversation.
Girl, a completely a different one that I could have one with you on as well.
Right.
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 So I love the encouragement. It's not over. And it's okay. It's more than okay. It's actually necessary to ask for help throughout life because sometimes we think, oh, I graduated high school, oh, I graduated college, oh, I got my degree, or we done with that. And Earth is a school. This is a lifelong process of
It is.
journeying,
I sure.
healing,
Mhm.
evolving, all of the things, growing, maturing, letting old versions of us die. And when we go through life with that mindset, I feel that it allows us to continue to elevate the way we need to versus being stuck because we feel, oh, I can't ask for help. What are people going to think? Or I'm afraid to start over, or I'm tired,
Well, we
or,
got to let that mindset go and be honest with ourselves. That's the first thing. You have to
yeah,
have some self accountability and acceptance.
yeah.
If you're stuck, stop and own your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Own wherever it is you are. Own
Mm-hmm.
how you got there.
Because you can't keep pointing the finger and blaming everybody else. And
Mm-mm.
that's not to say that's some of the things that have happened to us. It's
That's
not
right.
our fault, but it is our responsibility
Yeah.
to still make sure that we get the healing that we
Yep.
need. We
Yeah.
we have to do that.
I want to beat that alarm so bad. And I know that it's going to come and it's time. I've learned that with my own journey. It's going to come in time. But what I went through or where I got past, the person that I had to put to bed was for somebody else. And people like you that
Mm-hmm.
that have a master class. You never knew how indicative that master class was in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be that bookmark for
You're
somebody.
watching or listening to this, I want you to know that transformation begins before the relationship changes or before a new one even develops. The work begins with understanding your patterns, your beliefs, the choices you've been making, and the relationship you have with yourself. That's exactly why I created my coaching programs and most recently Love Notes Coaching, which is a space where women can gather personalized support to unpack their patterns and to understand how they show up in relationships, and more importantly, the shifts that need to happen to create aligned love. You don't have to stay stuck in the same cycle. Like the story you just heard, along with mine and many other women, your story can change too. If you're ready to start your journey now, the link for that is in the description box beneath this video. And as always, I would love to hear your thoughts, so drop a comment and let me know how this video hits for you. And when you're done with that, be sure to check out my most recent video if you haven't done so already. And I will see you in the next one.